Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 29 of my PySimpleGUI lessons. In today's video, we're going to be framing elements. So it's going to be something kind of like this, where there's a login and there's account and password. This login frame surrounds the layout inside, and we're going to be talking about this frame today. This frame is like a container element. It can contain other elements and layouts. It's similar to the columns we learned last class. That is also a container type element. Alright, let's start coding. Import PySimpleGUI as SG, and then let's make a layout. Let's call this layout A, and inside we need to have these two lines, the account and the password. So first we can have a text element that says account with an input text element. Let's leave it blank. And then let's have another line for the password, and then another input text. Okay, and then let's add everything else. Window.sg, Python learning, layout, file true, event and values equals window.read. If event equals none, then we break, and then we close the window. Okay, so I changed this to layout A. Let's make sure this is working. Alright, so now we have this, so let's frame this. In order to do that, we need to make another layout, and in this layout, we use the sg.frame with a capital F, and inside we need to have at least two attributes. The first one is a title. A title, like we saw, we can name this frame to start with, and then we need to give this a layout. So let's put layout A in here equals layout A. Don't forget to change this right here into just layout, and let's make sure this works. Alright, so now it looks like this, but let's change frame into something else instead of frame. Say like login, and now it will look like this. So this is basically what the frame element does. And now let's talk about some of the attributes. So the first one is the title color. So this is the title login. We can change the color into like say black, and now the login is black while every other text is white on this. Then we can change the background color. Let's change this to like white or something. And now there's a white black background and black title called login. Alright, let's change this back to none. And go on to the next one. The next one is the title location. Now this one is quite important. We use the cardinal directions, north, west, east, and south to do this. If we put it at, let's take each direction at a time. Let's do north first. If the direction is north, then it goes to the top but in the middle. If we want this to go to the left or the right, then we simply add east or west, like northeast. That would point to the east, like this, northeast, northeast. And if we want northwest, it would be like this, NW, and it would be pointing this way now. Now let's talk about the east, northeast. So if we keep this as just an E for east, and we run this, it would be in the center, like this. If we want it on the top, it would be east, north, because the top is north. Notice how this has an order, EN instead of NE. NE is northeast, and northeast would be here. East, north is here. These two places are different. So now this is at the top east, If we want it to be at the bottom, simply change north into south, and now ES is the bottom of the east. So a tip is the first letter is always where it's facing, and then the second letter, if there is a second letter, is how much. Like if we try south, normal south, it would be at the bottom. That's the first letter. If we have a second letter, either west or east, then that is how much we want it. So let's say this is west, southwest, it would be here. Then southeast would be here. Southeast would be like this. Keep in mind, southeast and east-south are two different things. And lastly, let's talk about the west. So west of its default in the center, and if we want it more on the top, west north would be like this, and then west south would be at the bottom here. West south be like this, and say we did something wrong, like west and east, these two don't go together, then it would say it's wrong like this. Alright, so west north. Normally on the default it would go to northwest, so let's keep it here. Northwest would be over here because north and then to the west, so here. If it's trying to be here, it would be west and then north. Alright. So after the title location, we have the relief. Relief, like before, has the 6 different things. We have the raised. It would be like this. We can't really tell because of the border width, so let's change that. Border width, let's say equals 10. This way, it would be very obvious, like this. Then yeah, we talked about all the other 6 in our previous videos. If you don't remember, you can go watch those. And okay, let's keep this as none, and put this back to none, and go on to the next one. So next we have the size. Size, we can do quite a lot. We can say like, we can change it to like 200, 100. It would be quite narrow. So if we want this to be wider, we simply change this. Let's say 400. Now it would be like this. We can change this to something even bigger, like 500. And now it would be like this. So after the size, we have the font. Font, like before, the first one is the font type, and the second one is the font size. Times New Roman font 15 would be like this. Oh yeah, keep in mind, the font only changes the frame. It doesn't change the font for the elements inside the frame. Alright, so after the font, we have the pad. Like before, the left and the right, and then up and down. I'm not going to go into too much detail. And then we have the key. Key is basically the ID. Helps identify what the element is. Next, we have the tooltip. Tooltip is literally when you put your mouse on this element, it makes this like little. This is a tooltip, and you can put helpful things in it. Alright, so after tooltip, there is the right-click menu. I'm pretty sure we talked about this one before too. So 1, 2, 3, and now if we right-click this, then 1, 2, 3 pops up. Alright, so after the right-click menu, we have the visible. Visible is a boolean. If it's true, then we are able to see this. If this is false, then it's hidden like this, and all of the elements inside are also hidden. Okay, so after the visible, we have the element justification. So the element justification, like before, there's the right, center, the right, center, and the left. So starting with left, it would be like this, this is the default, so this is how it was before. If we want it to be in the center, then it becomes like this, in the center, and the right would be like this, everything to the right. Alright, and the last one, we have the vertical alignment. Now since this frame is the only element on the window, the ones inside the frame don't count. This doesn't really make a difference. You can start at the top. Theoretically, it would be at the top, and then middle, it goes to the middle, and then bottom, it goes to the very bottom. But since this is the only element in this whole window, you can't really see any difference. Alright, that concludes lesson 29 of my PySimpleGUI course. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember, work, code, succeed, with Work for Tuition's lead.